Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Razovy, and you are watching the Razovy Revived channel. Now, today we're going to talk about Jujutsu Kaisen. I recently finished it. I know that it's been finished for completed for a long time. I'm fully aware of that fact, but I just never got around actually watching it. I think I watched like the first, I don't know, like 11 episodes, and I really liked it. And I actually liked it so much that I decided to, well, not necessarily drop the anime, but kind of like pause the anime and just start reading the manga. Now, for me, most of the time, like nine out of 10 times, I first read the manga and then I watch the anime. It's not always the case, of course. For example, with one of my favorite anime of all time, which is A Place Further Than the Universe. There is no manga. There is now, but I mean, the first thing that came into existence was the anime. Therefore, I first watched the anime. But most of the times, I first read the manga, and if I really like it, I watch the anime. I'm actually more of a manga fan than I am an anime fan. Although I, of course, like my whole channel is dedicated around anime and manga, so I'm a big fan of both, as you can imagine. So Jujutsu Kaisen is actually it took me by surprise because what I thought Jujutsu Kaisen would be was something like a Naruto clone. You have the dim-witted yeah, I guess dim-witted main character, and then you have like a standard female. Oh, I'm so scared all the time. I need your help. You need to rescue me. You know, lead, and then you have the other like the shy, quiet type who will do everything to revenge his, I don't know, his father or whatever, like that kind of stuff, right? The really tropey shonen battle anime slash manga. I really thought that that's what Jujutsu Kaisen was going to be. And then I watched the first episode, and after I watched the first episode, I still like kind of had that feeling. Not 100%, but I still kind of was like, yeah, they're gonna go into that direction. This is the way, this is what they're heading on to, and they're gonna just do like a complete tropey battle anime, and that's what it is. And then I watched the second episode, and I watched the third and the fourth, and then the female lead was introduced, and the other guy was introduced, like the other main guy, right? And then I was like, wait, something is happening here. Something more special is happening here right now. Yes, there is, it's a battle shonen anime. Like that's very clear. It's very clear from the start that that's what it is. But then once the characters were introduced, I actually figured out, like I'm assuming most of you did as well, that it's completely different. It's not like this very tropey BS shonen type of anime that you don't really want to watch, but I tend to watch the other stuff as well, so I watch this one too. No, it's actually really special. In fact, Jujutsu Kaisen shot up in the rankings on both my anime list and any list, and actually became one of the most popular anime of all time in a very short amount of time. Once it stopped airing, I believe it was like, I actually, to be honest, I don't even know, but I remember it being very high up, which surprised me. Like in the top 100 or something. I'm not 100% sure though. If I'm wrong, make sure to tell me. I forgot. But I believe like somewhere in the top 100 it stayed. I'm not sure if it still is though. But that surprised me a lot. That means that a lot of people like this. And I get it. I get where it's coming, where other people are coming from and why people like it so much. Because, most people really like the shonen stuff. Most people love Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, those anime, Hunter x Hunter, which makes sense. They are good, right? That's not weird. They are very, very good. But considering that most people love those shows, you would think that most people would like a show that is incredibly similar to those shows, right? At least that's what I would expect personally. And Jujutsu Kaisen is not that way. In fact, I dare to argue that yes, Jujutsu Kaisen is in fact, it belongs, in that trope, absolutely. But it's more themed towards, well, actually, not necessarily adults, but let's say young adults. And that is something that I'm kind of surprised by because most of these battle shonen type anime, they are mainly aimed towards young kids. I'm not talking about like 4 or 5. That's not what I'm talking about. But like middle schoolers and below, right? And we still like it because it's all about friendship, and of course we like that. It's always a positive message, and of course most people like that, and especially nowadays when most people that get into anime are around that age, middle school and below. Like in the past, when I when I when I was still in well, we don't have middle school here in Holland, but let's just say that it was middle school, right? We call it high school from 12 to 18, but let's say that it was in my middle school time for our American friends watching right now. Um, I knew about anime, but I didn't really care about it, and most people around me, they had never heard of anime before. And then when I got older, I remember going to a certain website. I won't name it now, because I think it will. I think people would be surprised that I actually use that website. But I went to that website and I watched what did I watch again for the first time in my life? I believe it was Death Note or something. And then I was like, wow, this Chinese or Korean cartoon is really good. I didn't even know there was Japanese at the time, because at that time when I was, when I was watching anime for the first time, I believe I was 17 or 18. Anime and manga was not popular at all. It wasn't Japan, of course, as you can imagine, but I'm Dutch. I live in Holland, and it wasn't popular here at all. And it's not just a Dutch thing, because it wasn't popular in America back then either. Most Americans that liked it and most Dutch people that liked it were adults. And yes, okay, I watched it at 18, so I guess I was an adult as well. But I mean, it was special at the time. Nowadays, most folks that watch it are middle schoolers and below. That's when you start, right, with anime. And that's why I'm surprised that people like Jujutsu Kaisen so much, because it's aimed at a more adult audience. Not at adults per se, but mainly at young adults, right? High schoolers, people that go to university, and even like 22, 29 or something, right? And that's why I'm surprised that even middle schoolers and below like it so much, because the vibe is different. It's grittier. It's more, the interactions between characters is more how high schoolers would do it, like genuine, actual high schoolers, not the high schoolers that we see in anime, right? Which are all aimed, which tell stories that are all aimed at younger, middle school and below audience. So that's why I'm surprised that so many people liked it at first. But after I started watching more episodes, like I think I watched 10 episodes in almost a day, a couple of days ago, because I liked it so much. And after I did that, I finally got why people liked it so much. It's not that it's trying to fit in using tropes. It just uses tropes sometimes, but it's completely original. And yes, it's a battle shonen. And yes, it's, you see small tropes here and there, but they use them well. And because they use them so well, it's interesting. And I get why people like it so much because of it. Jujutsu Kaisen tells a story that is worth watching, because the main character actually, it makes, although it doesn't at first, right? Let me put it this way. The main character, when he first, you know, in the first episode, when I first saw him, I was like, yeah, okay, this is where the tropes start. And the Jujutsu Kaisen, both the manga and the anime, shake off this tropey BS very quickly. So it is tropey, the way that Itadori is incredibly strong, for example, and that he is kind of dim-witted or dull or whatever. Like, they shake that off so fast. I think they shook that off in like the second or third episode, and you don't even think about why he is in this position anymore. And other battle shonen, suffer from that. They find it difficult to shake off this tropey stuff. And then, for example, also the female lead is interesting. She's actually badass, something that most female leads are not, for example. And although we see a small change coming in the anime world, that more female leads become more interesting over the years, it's still very limited, of course. So that is something that I also really appreciate. And I think that even though most of the characters, right, for example, Panda, Itadori, and even Gojo in some sense, I think they might be a little bit over exaggerated from time to time. I really, their character designs are so cool and so, you know, recognizable, I guess, that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that not everything makes sense. And most battle shonen suffer from this, because although not everything makes sense in most battle shonen, you feel that way too, right? You feel that it does, it gives you that feeling like, oh, it doesn't make sense, this shouldn't be here, and it takes you out of the story. And if you're young, you have that feeling way less than if you're an adult. And with Jujutsu Kaisen, I barely had that feeling at all, and that's very positive. That's a very positive feeling to have, and I think that's why people like Jujutsu Kaisen so much. Now, when I started out this video, I actually just wanted to talk about Jujutsu Kaisen as a whole, but I think I might change the title a little bit because I talked about way different stuff, and that is why I love recording this video so much because I am able to freely talk unscripted about basically anything that comes to my mind regarding regarding any show that I want. And I'm just really happy that I'm able to, to record these videos because I just really like venting about this stuff, and I also hope that you guys like this kind of stuff. If you do, make sure to click on the like button because it helps me out in the YouTube algorithm like crazy. Like if these videos get likes, it means that my channel gets more popular, it gets more views, it helps me out more than if you would donate to my channel. That's how much it helps out. It's crazy. So make sure to click on the like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do subscribe if you like this content. If you don't like this content, please don't subscribe. That will be weird. But yeah, just thank you very much for watching. I will definitely make more Jujutsu Kaisen content in the future because I really enjoyed this anime. And I was actually planning on talking about something very different regarding Jujutsu Kaisen than I now did. So I will definitely make another update video in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, I was Razovy, you were you, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.